Hello and welcome to Headway Q&A. This is the space where we are getting to the bottom of questions we all have about turning our current coaching practices into thriving business. Each week I take one question from Headway community and offering solutions that help each and every one of us build the business and coaching skills we need to for our practices to succeed. This week, the question I want to talk about is it enough to be a skillful coach to have a thriving coaching business? But before to answer that question, I would like to show you something. Okay, let's start the process. And first is to make our pen as hot as possible. Then 1 spoon of oil, maybe a little bit more, and then 1 tablespoon of bean sauce, okay, and chicken stock, and ginger and garlic goes next. Okay, getting better and better. Now, aubergine, which I prepared before using the deep fryer. So we put it, and final touch is spring onions. Ta-da! Voila! And it's called fish fragrant aubergines. Wu xiang qi zi. Probably something like this. You see? It looks like this in the picture. And here we are. Pretty much the same. And I can tell you more just in a second. Okay, here we are. Yes, this is the meal I cooked today, just a few minutes ago. Why I am showing it to you? Well, the most sophisticated meal I cooked so far is scrambled eggs. Really, I don't really know how to cook. And this is my actually second time I'm doing that particular meal. And you know what? All my friends said that it's very, very tasty. So my question is, how is it possible that me or anyone else who has no experience and no knowledge about how to cook a proper meal was able to create such a tasty dish? The answer is very simple. Good recipe, very good cooking book, right? What do you need to create a meal? List of ingredients, right proportions, and exact sequence of steps to follow, right? Does it sound to you as a complicated process? I'm not saying it's a trivial one. I am saying it is possible if you have a good recipe. Now, back to our question. What is the core of any business? The essence of any business is to create and deliver to your customers certain value they are looking for and willing to pay you for. And unfortunately, your ability to create that value is just a part of that cyclical process called business. Let us assume that you are a great coach and you could create value using your skills. What is still missing? Actually, 3 parts are still missing. Deliver value to your customers, value they're looking for, and last one, they are willing to pay you for. It does seem very simple, doesn't it? But please do not be misled by appearances. Just deliver part has dozens of options, and each of them has their own science and strategy behind it. My task here, though, is not to intimidate you with complexity, but quite an opposite. To bring simplicity and structure, which will enable you to act upon it. My task is to find the way to look at that complicated process so that you can see simple and actionable steps to follow. My task is to give you a recipe. So here is my set of simple questions which, if answered thoroughly, will bring some light and awareness about those 3 missing ingredients of your thriving business. Let's talk about missing part number 1. Deliver to your customers. There are some obvious questions related to that part. Who your customers are? Please describe and define them as precise as possible. What your customers' search criteria they use to search for needed value? What your customers' buying criteria? Where do they search for that value? Please brainstorm all possible ways you can deliver your value to your customers. And think outside of the box. Bring everything on the table without criticizing it. Now, missing part number 2. Value they are looking for. Here is the obvious question. What your customers are really looking for? I can give you a hint, a clue. They definitely are not looking for coaching hours to buy, or they're not looking for coach. They're usually looking for opportunities and ways to resolve their particular specific problems. So when you answer to that question, please use the language of your potential customers. And finally, we arrived to missing part number 3. They are willing to pay you for. There are a few questions to ask for this part as well. How can you package your value in a way that will match your customers' searching and buying criteria so that they are really willing to buy? How can you ensure your customer trusts you and prefer you over your competitor? Of course, this set of questions is not covering the entire complexity of the business creation. And for example, in our Headway Coaching Business School, we spent entire year to go through countless nuances. But it's a good beginning, right? These 3 missing ingredients will give you simple frame which allows you to overview entire business process. You can even think about what other questions you need to answer regarding those 3 missing ingredients. So now it's my turn to ask for your feedback. What do you think? What do you do to add missing ingredient to your business? How will you make your offer to your customers super attractive so they will not just willing, they cannot resist to buy from you? What is your commitment to turn your current coaching practice into a thriving business? Please tell us all about it in the comments below, and tweet, Instagram, Facebook in your coaching resolutions with #CoachRes, and tell us what are you doing today to transform your current coaching practice into thriving business. Thank you so much for listening, and stay tuned for the next edition of our weekly Headway Q&A.